Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. This dude making a lot of noise out here. Anyway, man, how's everybody? I'm just sitting here reflecting on that interview with Laila Ali last night, man. And I'm going to tell you, man, there's a lot of class there, a whole lot of legacy there. But one thing's for sure, there's a whole lot of realness. Very down to earth, man. You know, when you sit down with Laila Ali, you know, I realize, like, I'm not just talking to a former champion. You're talking to royalty in boxing. You're talking to Muhammad Ali's daughter. But she's much more than just Muhammad Ali's daughter. You know what I mean? She is just a special individual. So, first off, I just want to say, you know, nothing but respect for her time, professionalism, humility. You know, in an era where a lot of fighters are chasing clout, a lot of fighters are just out here, man. Some are doing a good job representing the sport. Others, you know, need some refinements. Then there are those that need to be overhauled. And there are others that need to be permanently eradicated, right? But with Laila Ali, she moves differently, man. Completely different. You know, that interview wasn't really something. It wasn't something planned. It just kind of happened. But you know, she called in sharp. She was ready to go, and no ego, no distractions. We just had a conversation, a very real conversation. Like I didn't prepare for nothing. It just flowed, right? But that's what stands out the most is, you know, how down to earth she really is. You guys already know who she is. Y'all know what she brings to the table. Y'all know what her status is, okay, without getting into specifics. So when someone like that shows you love, you know, from myself, the channel, the chat, you know, you got to take time out, man, and just show appreciation. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm sitting here just reflecting on the interview, because you see some people out here, because of their status in life and maybe because of whatever their background is, right? They carry themselves a kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And they're not really likable. But when you think about the daughter of Muhammad Ali, the champion, very successful businesswoman, right? Someone who could easily carry herself with an untouchable aura, but instead she connects like a regular person. Because I think deep down she still sees herself as that same old Laila who was trying to figure things out as a teenager, you know, and just figured things out as a big woman. And once she found that success, she liked it and she took it and she ran with it. And look at her now, you know, in her late 40s, still looking like she in her 20s. And still doing amazing things, you know what I'm saying? But she connects like a regular person is what I took from that conversation. She listened. She didn't try to overtalk me. She didn't cut me off when I was talking. I definitely didn't do that with her. That ain't my style. We both were engaging. She engaged. She joked. She knew all the jokes that I make on the channel. And when she did speak, she was speaking with a purpose. And we were able to kind of just add to the conversation. But the bottom line, I don't see how, and look, just let's be honest. How can you not see Laila Ali as still the face of women's boxing? There are great fighters today. You can't take nothing away from these ladies. Undisputed champions, rising stars, women out here doing their business, gone to the Olympics, medals. These women are doing it. They are doing it, man. But when you think of women's boxing on a global level, there's only one name that still rings bells, like, you know what I mean? It's Laila Ali. We could call her Laila Cool J because she's rocking bells and shit, you know what I'm saying? And that's not by accident. You know what I mean? She built her brand at a time when women's boxing wasn't getting the spotlight it deserved. She brought visibility, she brought respect, and she brought mainstream attention to the sport. she took that on her shoulders, and she ran with it, and she was able to kind of come and architect this what you see now with women's boxing. You know what I mean? This very powerful structure, and without her pioneering all of that, I don't know if female boxing would be where it's at right now. But female boxing would have had some success, but maybe it was more incremental as far as with her coming in and just that strong push to fast track some things. Female boxing got a spotlight that it deserved, and Laila has a whole lot to do with that. You know what I'm saying? She built her brand, man, and she was able to stay undefeated. Even when you talk about names that are dominating today, I can't help but throw this out there, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Like Clarissa Shields, right? She's dominating. But still, Laila's impact and recognition still put her in a lane of her own. Clarissa Shields could never, ever, like what she like to say, her father would never. Okay, Clarissa would never, ever be able to step into the spotlight that Laila Ali owned when she was actively fighting and that she owns now. It's different, man. Impact and recognition of Clarissa, impact and recognition of Laila, two different lanes. Clarissa has her own lane. But like MC Hammer said, can't touch this. She can't touch Laila Ali, man. And I'm being honest, that shit ain't changing no time soon. At all. I just watched the Breakfast Club interview again today because I had so much shit on my mind, right? I watched that 14 minutes again. I still haven't watched the full interview on Netflix. I was tired last night and I've been busy today. But I'm going to watch it. But I watched that 14 minutes again, and I know but I didn't really lock in what she was talking about. Her cat has low miles and she got a fat ass and I'm snatched. I don't know what that means, snatched. But to be up there showing off, like what are you doing? Some people say, yo, sex sells, hood. She's selling sex. Clarissa Shields is selling sex appeal. That's who some of y'all think is the face of women's boxing. That's who y'all think is the example. That's who y'all think has succeeded Laila Ali. To that I say, in the most respectful way, hey yo, you McNicholas, hold your horses and stop taking it to that goddamn stupid. Now, Clarissa has her own lane. But stop this comparison with her and Laila Ali. Stop. Just stop. Because I didn't really catch that stuff until this morning. I was like, what's this shit about? I mean, I heard it, but I forgot about it. When I watched it again this morning, you know how things, when you watch things a second time, certain things jump out at you. It jumped out, and I was like, what the hell is she doing? But nonetheless, when you talk about humility, legacy, Laila Ali, her humility and her legacy, there's no comparison. Because that equals true greatness. There's some men and women, not just in boxing, just in life, they need to understand that. And what makes Laila Ali different is not just what she did in the ring. It's how she carries herself outside of it. No bitterness. No need to prove anything. No chasing validation. She still has that confidence, has that grace. She still has that authenticity. That's why, about to sneeze. Gotta get all that bad air out. But that's why her legacy continues to grow, even years after retirement. You know, she's not forcing relevance, man. She naturally commands it. And last night, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze again. Don't you hate that shit? Kind of sneeze, man. Nose and shit tickling. But she naturally commands it, man. And last night, just listening to her, and I like how she talked about Ann Wolf. She talked about that fight. She was very real about things. Still didn't disrespect Ann. Just basically said, look, it looked like it came down to a money thing. She doesn't. She knows basically that Ann wasn't afraid of her. She wasn't afraid of Ann. She was able to take some accountability on things and then give credit to people. But at the same time, if she felt a kind of way about something, she wasn't afraid to say that. But I didn't know she started boxing. I mean, she got into the sport at 18, turned pro at 20, 9 years later retired with all of those accomplishments, with that 24 wins, 21 knockouts, no losses, and started boxing at 18. I did not know that. So that's one thing that jumped out at me. The other thing was when she was talking about being young, that she was out there taking a car at age 11, riding around. I'm going to tell you, man, I was a street kid, so I was in the shit. 10, 11, we were out there. 12, we were up in clubs, up in parties. Up in clubs, 18 and older. Come to the door, they'd be like, oh, that's so-and-so. That's that little crew right there. They knew us. Because we were into everything. They're like, yo, that little dumb cats out there, But we knew it. We knew cats. And they'd be like, yo, let them cats in. We should be getting up in the club. Some of them one way in, one way out, Joe. We were 12 years old, man, 11, 12. Then, 13, 14, we were basically men. But we were out there. So it's funny when she was giving that story. But, what I realized talking to her is that we all have choices that we make. And I say this all the time, but you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Whatever you want. But you got to be ready to accept the consequences of your actions. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that's basically what I took from everything she said. And I like how she was giving credit to the ladies today. She didn't come out here and say, one fighter and rate one fighter over the other. She just praised them all. She praised them all, man. Just basically saying how all of today's women are great. But I thought it was really cool to hear her talk about the women and their commitment to the sport. Like no kidding, Laila Ali is no kidding. You could tell she got that fighter in her, but she got that nurturing quality too. You know what I'm saying? She has it, man. She has it. But that's why there's no surprise that when it comes to Laila Ali, her impact and recognition, it just still put her in her own lane when she was fighting, and right now puts her in her own lane in retirement. And again, when it comes to who's the face of women's boxing, look, you got different women out here, man, who are trying to make their stamp. And there's nothing wrong with being the face of women's boxing for this era, but as far as who's going to come out here and really try to take that torch from Laila, and not saying take it in a selfish way, but like come out here and do things that are so great to where Laila's like, look, I got to bow down to you. You did your thing. Take that crown, here you go. I still think there's a lot of work that needs to be done by these women. And again, we understand the Ali last name. You know what I'm saying? You can't top that. So, but one thing I like with Laila Ali, she respects her last name. She has a lot of, she knows she has a lot of responsibility with that last name. But the last name isn't what makes her who she is. What makes her who she is because of her character, her humility, her being Laila. And she knows that having that last name of Ali, that, yeah, it's a blessing, but that's how she was born. She doesn't know anything different. Normal. I mean, that's just who she is, She can't control, who her father was. But you could tell that it's okay. If we want to just kind of make it simple, it's a blessing, but it also could have been a curse. Because if she would have came out here, carrying on It could have put her in a bad space and really put the last name in a bad space and her father's legacy. So, because the bottom line is Muhammad Ali is the ultimate to most people across all 7 continents. If she, as his daughter, would have gotten to boxing and just completely acted a fool and would have been out there and smoking, drinking, getting high, and dressing and revealing clothing and talking and suggestive, very suggestive and sexual kind of things, it just would have been all bad. So you could tell with her, there's just something about her, and I think 100% that thread that runs through her that you see in a lot of great human beings, man, when they had the right nurturing and right parenting, you could see, man, that that's Muhammad Ali's daughter. There's something that he instilled in her to make her feel like no matter what happens with you out here in this world, never ever make somebody feel like you're not somebody. You're somebody. And she carries herself that way. Like, it's almost regal. There's something about her. But I enjoyed it. And I look forward to talking to her again. But that being said, humility plus legacy equals true greatness. And she has that, man. You know what I'm saying? So for me to sit down here with Boxing Royalty, talk legacy, women's boxing, what separates greatness from hype, it was cool. It was cool, man. I really didn't plan that interview, but it ended up being an exclusive interview. And a lot of people loved it, man. They did, man. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the way we broke down her impact on the sport, her mindset, and why her name still carries weight across generations. New era, they're here. But as far as them taking over from Laila Ali, who most of us still see as the queen of women's boxing, I mean, you leave the comments, you leave your comment below and let me know what you think. Because I can't make that decision for you. But if you ask me, I think there's some great, great fighters. And if this is the era to take over the crown from Laila, it doesn't mean anything negative. It's not a bad thing. But you got some serious work to do. Serious work to do. Because to be quite frank, Laila Ali's the standard, man. She's the standard. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.